my gosh. You guys would not believe it. I literally just did like a good 20 minutes of podcasting. And I didn't record. I swear I hit it twice this time. I swear I did. But it didn't record. All right, well, I mean, we're back with podcast mic, and I guess I'll go again. But basically, I started the last episodes by saying I'm going to record this podcast so that I can get it out on Tuesday. But that's not going to happen anymore. This is 100% coming out on Wednesday. So luckily for Matthew, that means I can probably talk about his weekly report, because that was another thing that I was saying in that past podcast is, oh man, I'm probably not going to be able to talk about the weekly report because, shoot, I just threw like some, dang it, got on my carpet somewhere. I don't see where it is. There it is. I was telling him that I probably, or speaking to him through the podcast, that I probably wasn't going to be able to talk about his weekly report because it comes out on Tuesday, and I want to get this podcast out on Tuesday because I just feel like it's a little bit better if you get the podcast out right after all the football happens, and like right after, because that's when everyone wants to hear it. I think everyone wants to, hear and get in on it like the day after. Otherwise, it's too long. It's too far away. Because if I post it on Wednesday, Thursday Night Football is the next day. The next week has started already. So it's just so quick. So that's why I feel like I need to get this podcast out on Tuesday. I want to get it out on maybe like Tuesday day. So maybe I can like start doing like 2 episodes, but like 2 short episodes. I don't know, to get that weekly event, or maybe just do 2 episodes, like one release it on Tuesday, one release it on like Thursday, maybe that's a plan. Maybe not Thursday, Friday, maybe. That could be a plan. That could be an idea. That way I can talk about the weekly report and all that stuff, or somehow, I'm not sure. But I just like, now that I'm, a working man, grinding 9 to 5, I can't record like Tuesday during the day after the weekly report's been released. I'd have to record Tuesday at night. Or I'd just release a podcast on Wednesday. I don't know. Anyways, I'm recording it during the game. Because I started recording it right at halftime. It was like, I have to get this podcast recorded to get it out. For all the reasons that I've just talked about. But that's not going to happen anymore because now it's the start of the third quarter and I've just started recording. Also, can I talk about the analytics? I've totally screwed up on the analytics this past 2 weeks. I was doing great. I got like 3 consecutive videos of 30 views, which was like double decent. And these past 2 videos have been horrible. I've gotten 16 views and then 15. This last one was a little bit better in the sense, oh, there goes Derek Carr. Oh my God. Nice. Yeah, it looked like he got his head taken off. That's definitely going to be targeting. What was I saying? Podcast, analytics. Analytics were off. I was doing fine. And then I recorded. Did I record too long 2 episodes ago? I don't know. But this past episode, I recorded way too long. I recorded too short 2 episodes ago. But this past episode, I recorded 8 minutes over, and viewers didn't like it. I reached 13 after like day 1. 12 or 13, something like that, after day 1, which was at like what I needed, as expected. But then the next week, nothing. Goose egg. I got like 2. Did he make that catch? He did. Oh, defensive player. I only got like 2 views for the rest of the week. A total bummer. Totally stunk. Oh, that's Willie Snead. Interesting. Is he concussed? I don't know. Anyways, the analytics are totally off, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Clearly Wednesday, and I think I released that on Wednesday, so I don't think that's another, I guess, reason why I was thinking I gotta release this on Tuesday. It's because the Wednesday podcasts just aren't doing it. They just aren't doing it. So maybe I just record it on Monday, release one on Monday after the Sunday night action, and then do another Wednesday episode doing the weekly recap. Oh, that's an idea. Okay. Well, let's get into that's offsides. I don't know if I'm really going to get into the beef of it and like talk about what happened this week. because I want to get back to watching the game. I was gonna do, like grind out like 15 minutes at halftime, but I don't know. And I mean, now that I've wasted all that time, I I just don't think I'm gonna be able to get this episode out by the time that I want. So I could definitely talk about everything that I want to talk about and get it out by Wednesday for sure. So maybe that's what it's just gonna come down to. So maybe I'll pause the recording here. I'll think about it, see what I want to do, and then I'll get back to you. And I'll be back to you tomorrow, and this will be out Wednesday, or no, it's gonna be out Wednesday either which way. So I'll see you on Wednesday. You'll be getting this on Wednesday probably. And sorry for rambling for the past little bit. That is not the content I know you guys want, so I apologize. So let's just move on. Let's get into the action. Take it away, future Johnny. Take it away. Well, my fantasy luck is ridiculous this season. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I literally should not have won two, maybe three. No, I'd say I fairly beat Matthew. I should not have won two of my games. Aaron Jones should not have gotten 30.5 points, and Justin Herbert should have scored more than 21.28. I mean, my luck is ridiculous right now. So it's up to me to change it from luck into good fantasy play. I got to change it from luck into good fantasy play, because there's no chance I can ride this for much longer, right? Can't ride this for much longer. So I'm gonna take my 3 wins. I'm gonna try to do the best that I can the rest of the season. But pleasure playing against you, Luke. It's tough. I know you're looking for that undefeated season. But it's shut down already this year. It's already been shut down. I mean, last year I think I had the potential to get that undefeated season, and then I lost to you, actually, in fact, like week 9 or something like that. So I know the feeling, I know the pain, I know it's got a sting, and I know you're probably feeling like you deserve more. I know everyone in the building knows that Matthew deserves more. I will get to that in a second, but I just want to say, good game. You'll probably end up winning the Boy Farm Memorial Trophy, because you tried, but it was all in vain. The fellowship failed. So a good game. I should be a little bit more excited right now, but I don't want to freak anyone out. It's like 11 o'clock at night, so I'm gonna leave it there, and then I'll pick up with the podcast tomorrow. But I had to get on the podcast. I had to get on the podcast after that. I mean, my heart was in my throat for that entire second half. I mean, Justin Herbert threw maybe 50 yards in the second half. Did he get a touchdown in the second half? I can't remember if one of those Austin Eckler touchdowns was in the second half. Let me check real quick. 1 sec. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, no. All his 3 touchdowns came in that first half, and Eckler ran it in for that 4th touchdown in the second half. So, I mean, I was literally holding my breath for that entire second half. Every time that, well, not every time, but both times that the Raiders scored, I was like, oh boy. Here they go. They're going to respond. And then, yeah, we'll get to Aaron and Connor, too, because, I mean, I think I reversed psychology to a couple times tonight, because I ended up saying, because really early on, Eckler looked injured. He looked like he was hobbling off, but so I texted the message, Eckler injured already. I'm sorry, Aaron. I didn't mean to do that to you, dude. That was just not cool of me, so I apologize. But good win from Connor. We'll get into all the action just in a second. So me and Luke, I don't want to beat a dead horse, because I know Luke's going to be feeling hurt about that one, especially since James Robinson and Joe Mixon, they went out and did their job Thursday night, 19.6 and 12.7. That's a pretty good scoreline. I mean, maybe we could have asked for a little bit more from Joe Mixon, but they both did their job, and it just came down to the fact that the wide receivers for Luke just didn't show up. Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp, I was literally heaping praise on those guys last week, And then both literally come out with almost the exact same stat line. Devontae Adams, 6 receptions, 64 yards. Cooper Kupp, 5 receptions, 64 yards. So they both get 6.4 points. And that just was not enough. So, it's rough. It's definitely rough for Luke, especially like looking at Travis Kelce, another guy that I heaped praise on, and he only goes out and gets 4 receptions. So the curse is there. Aaron pointed out, but am I reversing the curse by, talking about it? If you talk about the curse, does it suddenly disappear? Maybe. And so, Zach's gonna have to hope for that, because I'm literally about to heap so much praise on your team, Zach. Like, not intentionally trying to curse you, just because your team is ridiculous. Sorry, Luke, that one's tough. We did get that name change, though. Herbie Fully Loaded from footchiken to Women's Life. Always love a mid-season name change, but I think it might have been a mistake, because you were playing so well as footchiken to Women's Life. You went 3-0. You got some good wins under your belt, and then you made the change. And I think it cost you. You made the change during the Monday Night Football game, and I think that is that's a mistake. You can't change your name during the game. You got to wait until the game's over. I mean, you can change your name if you're playing well in fantasy. Like Matthew changed his name to Down Goes Frazier, and he did well season 1. We've had some name changes where you play well and you change the name because you're feeling hot and it works out. But I mean, Luke was playing well, but you can't do it mid game. You just can't. So a little disappointing from Luke with that mid game name change, and I'm sure he's going to look back at that and be disappointed himself. But that doesn't mean that he's going to play poorly from here on out. I mean, his team is still fantastic, and I can't wait to see what he comes out and produces in response to this close loss. I would be afraid for whoever he faces next. Let's just check out who that is. It's going to be New South Charlie. Okay, so that's probably a dub for Luke. No offense to Matt, but we all know Matt loves to show up for the Matt versus Matt showdown. So we'll see if Matt shows up again this week. He's not one to usually go back to back wins. It's tough for Matt to do that, but we'll see. I mean, I think Luke's gonna just kind of thrash him like in Luke's blind rage. After such a tight loss like that, Luke's just gonna have his day. So but obviously we'll see. And I don't mean to bring a curse on anyone. That's not my intention. That's not what I hope to do. I hope for everyone in the league to have success and to play honorably on the field, and have a great game, and for everyone to stay healthy. But obviously, as a team manager, I'm ecstatic to come away with that win, to hold on, to be able to, grind out that gritty win. I don't think I'm going to give myself any trophies. I don't feel my teams deserved them this week. There's plenty of other deserving teams out there who are bound to get a trophy. And so, well, I'll leave it there for the Monday night. I'll wrap this up Tuesday, and I'll get it posted for you guys on Wednesday. So, have a good night. I'm sure I'll be listening to this during the day, but I'm about to go to bed. So have a good night, have a good day, and I'll pick up with you shortly. Within for you a couple of seconds, for me several hours. All right, ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, I got to figure out where I left off. What did I talk about? I was in the halftime talking about analytics and stuff, and then I got back on for a minute at the end to talk about me and Luke. So we'll go into depth with everyone else. Dan Bites Kneecaps. Obviously, major apology to Connor. He's gone over 100 for 3 weeks straight and gotten 3 wins right in a row. So I apologize for doubting. I guess the reason I originally doubted was because I thought for sure after that first game, I was like, oh no, Ezekiel Elliott is busting again. He's busting again for the second year straight. He's washed. He's done. But he's turned it around. He's hasn't gone back to prime Zeke yet. This past week he was as close as he was. I mean, 20 carries, 143 yards. That was that was basically a prime Zeke performance and a touchdown. But I still wouldn't say as dominant as that one season. So we'll see. I mean, Dallas has a pretty darn easy schedule because they go to play Giants, then New England, then Minnesota, then Detroit, then Atlanta, then KC. So they'll have their first big rushing challenge against Las Vegas, who doesn't even have that great of a run defense. It's not bad, but I mean, Baltimore did bits on it. And then New Orleans, Washington. So they've got a very Zeke's gonna, if he should, with those matchups, he should be able to, keep performing at a high level. And then Austin Eckler. I kind of thought Eckler was going to be that 10-point guy again this year. He always hovers around 10 points. He really booms over 15. But all credit to him. I mean, the way that he played against Las Vegas, I already marked him down on my thing. Draft him for next year. Because holy moly, I'm going to be honest, I'd never seen him play until then. And wow, did he play a great game. So I'm really impressed with him. So I'm gushing over Austin Eckler. And then he's got Mike Evans and Emmanuel Sanders as his wide receivers. So they'll just be, solid wide receivers. Deontay Johnson on the flex spot. George Kittle's, I think, going to continue to struggle. I think he's going to be a very average, normal tight end this year. I don't think he's going to really do much. But that being said, the rest of the team is great because he's got Matt Stafford starting. He's got Lamar Jackson riding his bench. T. Higgins is still injured. Marquise Brown is a great wide receiver. So Connor's team is looking very good. Very, very good. Obviously, I don't know why he would have chosen Rams defense against Arizona, though. I mean, I guess maybe hindsight's 20/20. But the Cardinals have been just popping off this season. So I would not have risked that. So really he got, 5 points taken away. So he should have been over 110 points this week. And then just, another bad week for Aaron. I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast. I feel like I already talked about it. Not in the power rankings. But Dax, Saquon, Najee, they're doing their bit. It just comes down to the rest. The reason I'm going to not say too much of that is because I feel like I already talked about it, but I can't remember if it was pre-podcast or not. So I guess I'll give it a little bit more. But Dak, Saquon, and Najee are literally doing their job. Week 1 they didn't, and I'm not sure about week 2, but week 3 and week 4 they've done their job. They've all, they've combined for a decent tally. Let me just see what Saquon's done. Yeah, Saquon week 2 didn't do well, but week 3 and week 4 he did. Najee Harris has improved since week 1. Week 1 he was bad, but the rest he was good. And then Dak Prescott was bad week 2, so Aaron just had a bad week 2, and I'm pretty sure. Did I play Aaron week 2? Is that how I got my win? Yeah, that's how I got my win. It's literally his top 3 performers, Dak, Saquon, and Najee, all played bad, so I was able to come away with that win. So, I mean, it's just up to Aaron's managerial prowess to figure out the rest of the team. And, I mean, he already texted today about making a trade. But unfortunately, everyone's going to want Dak, Saquon, and Najee. People might want Keenan Allen. No one's really going to want Allen. The rest of your team is just going to have to come down to, me, a waiver wire pickup. I mean, Jacoby Myers, maybe you could slot him in. A.J. Dillon, maybe you could slot him in, especially if what's-his-face doesn't get that many touches. Aaron Jones. Damian Harris. I feel like he wasn't used all that much. Yeah, against Tampa Bay, he wasn't at all. 4 carries for minus 4 yards. But maybe that was just because it was Tampa Bay defense. So, I mean, Aaron's got a team that he's still trying to figure out. And I don't blame him. Because, I mean, it's got to be a bit frustrating seeing that front 3 do so well and the rest of your team just stink the bed. Speaking of, Tristan's got the same problem. Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, and even tossing DK Metcalf. That's a strong front 4. So the strong front 4 does well. But even then, for the strong front 4 for him, he wouldn't have even be in Aaron. That's how bad the rest of his team did. So he's just got to be totally fuming. Totally fuming. I don't blame him. The only bright spot on his bench is Corey Davis. Elijah Mitchell may come back from injury. Saints getting -3 is unexpected. But, I mean, it's just rough. I mean, it's same thing for Tristan. It's just going to come down to his managerial prowess, the types of players he's going to pick up, who he's going to grab, how he's going to round out the team, because those four, like, low-key, 4 should be enough, theoretically, to get you wins most week. Like, if your front four is doing 28, 17, 13, 12, that should be enough. I mean, you just need literally, like, maybe 8 points from Tyler Lockett, 4 points from Logan Thomas, 3 more points from Miles Sanders. You need your defense to give you, like, 5, and your kicker to get you, like, 8. So if we add that up, what did I say? We need, like, 8 points for Tyler Lockett, so +6. What did I give Logan Thomas? +4, so 12. Plus 3 more, 15. Plus, I said 5 for Saints, so +8, so 23. And another 8 for Dan Carlson, 31. So add on 31 to the rest of that. And what do you get? You basically get over 100. 28 plus 31, let's just call that 60. And then plus 17, plus 13, plus 12. It's another 90. Yeah, 102.5. So it really just, like, it's just a bummer. Like, he should be winning. So it's just going to come down to who he makes those picks. Because it's not like he even really needs to play that, like, fantastic standout players. Like, they literally just need to get him, you know, a handful of points each. And he'd be a great team. He'd be, you know, he'd have won this week. But, you know, props to Aiden because his team did their job. He had 22, 17, 9, and then 14, 12, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5. So, I mean, like I said, like, it's really just, like, if you just boost all this, so from even tight end down to kicker, if you boost all their stats, give those points to Tristan, he'd have a much closer game. Like, he'd be in the 90s for sure, so it would have been much closer. So, I don't know. Aiden, I think Aiden, whatever I see in the power rankings this week is what I think for Aiden, so I guess go read those power rankings. I just think Aiden's got, like, kind of a very mediocre team right now. Like, I don't want to be mean, but it's just very average. Like, Trey Sermon, he must be the lone back in there. Actually, some kids dropped him. Yeah, I don't blame you. But Trey Sermon's popping up. 9-4, then 8-9. I'm going to have to go check out who's got Trey Sermon in the Jennings Family League. So Aiden, keep going on. And then, oh my gosh, Matt loves playing in the Battle of the Mats. He loves taking down Matthew. It's almost disrespectful at this point. It's almost disrespectful. I don't even know what to say. Like, Matthew was literally straight robbed from a win this week. He would have beaten every other team, minus I Chase Young Kids, every other team. And he just got robbed. Like, he literally just got robbed. Like, what a performance from his team. 31, I mean, obviously it could have been better because he could have won, but 31, 12, 14, 11, 5.5, 11, 11, 1, 16. Excuse me. Why did I ever drop Tyler Bass? I don't know. It was dumb. Should have kept Tyler Bass on my thing. I dropped him for Nick Folk, and then I picked up this chump kicker from, what's it called? From Minnesota? Idiot. That was so stupid why I did that. I don't know. But Matt's team showed up. Obviously, it helps that Tyreek Hill is, like, back in action, getting 36 points. It's just absolutely ridiculous. 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. And then David Montgomery had himself a game, but it seems like David Montgomery is going to be out. I think he got injured. So, Matt, you're going to have to make that change. Nick Chubb had a fine performance. Robert Woods had a great performance. Matt's got Chuba in there. He could have even played Leonard Fournette. I didn't even know. Yeah, I guess Leonard Fournette got that touchdown. No, he didn't even get a touchdown. He got 90 yards and 47 receiving yards. For Henry Ruggs. I mean, Matt's team is totally looking up. He's got Henry Ruggs, Tyler Boyd, Leonard Fournette. What a great team. My voice is going like hoarse here. I don't know why. I feel like I don't really talk that much. And then Matthew, I don't even know what else to say, man. It's just unlucky. It's just unlucky. And then last but not, I'd chase Young Kids. God, got to be one of the best teams we've ever seen. It's got to be one of the best starts we've ever seen. Just absolutely mental. I mean, how is anyone going to beat Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin? Like, that is just a ridiculous pairing. I don't know if Cordarrelle Patterson's going to do 30 points every week. I think Cordarrelle Patterson's going to be very consistent, though, from here on out. TJ Hawk, Hawk's got such a great ceiling. The Bills' defense is ridiculous. 2 shutouts already this season. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy for the rest of the games, but they could maybe do it again against Jacksonville and New York Jets, maybe even Indiana, maybe even Miami again. That was a quick turnaround for Miami, only 6 weeks. I don't think they'll do it again against Miami, but that'd be hilarious if they did. So, Zach, what a team. Morning Chubb is definitely bye week. Didn't set his lineup. Dalvin Cook stinks. DeAndre Swift's just on a bad team. I do think he's got to put DJ Moore in, though. But I guess he doesn't check his lineup, so it doesn't matter. But he should just, if he wants to do a sit and forget, just trade out A.J. Brown, put in DJ Moore. Carolina passes the ball way more than Tennessee anyways. And that could just be our set and forget. So anyways, great week from the boys. 2 of the boys obviously are not going to be that happy with their week. Matthew's not going to be happy with his week either. So 3 of the boys. 4 of the boys, I guess Luke's not going to be that happy. So basically all the boys except for Alex won't be happy with their week because they lost. I mean, you're never going to be happy with who's happy losing? No one's happy losing. That's just crazy talk. All right, so what we've all been waiting for. 1 second. What we've all been waiting for. Let's talk about the weekly report. All right. Actually, I had a couple notes on what I wanted to say this time. I actually prepared a little bit, but not even for the weekly report. The other thing was for, I don't know. But anyways, let's just go through it real quick. I mean, league standings, that's exactly what we'd expect to see. So it's got me with 18 moves. Yeah, I'm making a lot of moves. Playoff probability. I like this. I like this playoff probability. Playoff probabilities are calculated using 100,000 Monte Carlo simulations to predict team performances. It's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So right now, it's kind of crazy. And I mean, it's just crazy. 1 second. I got an email. Let's see who it's from. From Spotify. They want me to log back in because I haven't logged in forever. All right. Playoff probability. So Zach's got... Okay, so I also want to talk about, real quick, ESPN's playoff probabilities. ESPN just loves Luke. They're giving him a 95% chance. They're only giving me 64%. I swear that's a downgrade. But I don't know. I'm not keeping track. I chase some kids at 93. Poor Matthews at 67. I guess that's still pretty good. Okay, back to Matthews' playoff prediction probability. So, Matthews' playoff probabilities. I'm at 68, so I guess pretty similar to ESPN, but still feel disrespected. I choose some kids 82%. Dan White's kneecap 79%. Herbie Fully Loaded 72%. And Sigmund Jail only 38%. He's got a 1.8% chance of getting first. That totally stinks. I think that makes sense percentage-wise. Like, I'm sure it makes sense, doing the stats. But I think just like if you play fantasy football and if you watch real life football, you know that Sigma Gel grind set's not just going away. Like, they'll make the playoffs. Don't worry, they'll make the playoffs. And if they make the playoffs, they have a fantastic chance of getting of winning it all, in my opinion. But right now I've got the highest percent chance. Oh no, that's Luke. I thought that was me. Luke's got the highest percent chance at 22% to get second place. Oh, okay, it is me. And then I've got the highest percent chance to get third place at 22.35%. Dan Bites Kneecaps is given 26.75% to get first. 31.1% chance for Zach to get first. So that's a very high chance. It's a very high chance. And it's predicting that Zach, Connor, Matt, and Matthew, and Aaron. It's predicting those 5 to get top 5. No, I guess that's not how that's calculated. I definitely messed that up. All right, so I guess one question I do have for Matthew is wins need. So in the needed column under playoff probabilities. So I'm 3-1-0. It's saying I need 4 more wins. So I could win like my next. Let's say I win my next 4. I go 7-1. I would lose my next 6. Go 7-7. Yeah, we're playing 14 normal weeks. Go 7-7. I would get 6. Go 7-7, and and that would give me a 68.6%, 6% chance to get in the playoff. Is that how that works? Or how I might be reading that wrong. So let me know, I guess, what the needed wins is. S'il vous plaît. Okay, league median matchup standings. So do you mean, I don't want to be too nitpicky, but do you mean league mean score rather than the median? Because, I mean, the median, right, is if you go from the bottom and the top and you subtract 1 and you slowly close in. But, right, so if it was median, I don't think anyone scored 96 points. So I'm guessing you mean mean. So also, I want to say that my median record is just fine, but I should have gotten the win over the median this week. I mean, I've got to be within like a standard deviation. Yeah, I'm literally like 2 points lower. So the standard deviation was just literally pulled up because Zach scored 141 and then Matt scored 128. So that totally yanked up well, I guess maybe Alex's 56 pulled it back down. So maybe I can't complain that much, but I don't know. I think I should be 3-1 against the median, even though that doesn't make sense. But I should be 3-1 against the median. I should have got that dub against the median this week. I'm only slightly off, so I should be 6-2, just like Connor and Zach. And you guys wouldn't put so much disrespect on my name. Team power rankings. I guess I'm not exactly sure how this is scored. Obviously, it's the average of weekly score, coaching efficiency, and luck ranks. So I power ranked 4th this week. But I guess I don't understand Zach because Zach is power ranked 2.0. So how is Zach not like power ranked 1? Like he would be 1, Be Him Stinky Jurettes and New South Charlie would be 2, would be both tied for 2. And then Dan Bites Kneecaps and me, we'd be tied for 4. So it does equal out, right? 5. I don't know. I guess maybe enlighten me maybe with another, how this power rank is calculated. Season average, I obviously understand. That's like, I've got an average power rank of 4.5. And so that means that I'm 3rd. Team Z-score ranking. Yeah. Coaching efficiency. All right, coaching efficiency, I kind of understand, but not entirely. And that's based on my not understanding of optimal points. So I guess this is just like, questions like, what is optimal? How are our optimal points calculated? Because I do like this team coaching efficiency metric. Like, I think it's very interesting, but I just need a little bit more explanation of how it's calculated. Because I think it's very interesting. And I think it's very interesting that, a lot of us scored in the 90%. Like, Zach was 96. Aiden was 95. Matthew, you were 94. Matt was 94. I was 92. Luke was 89. Connor was 87. And it's interesting that Connor was 87%, and he was like one of the highest scorers this week. So I guess maybe try to give us a little more insight into that team coaching, if you will. Team luck, I can't disagree with it. So I was incredibly lucky to win this week. Incredibly lucky. And I can't disagree with me being the absolute luckiest player, like season average, number one. Of course. I'm, of course, the luckiest player. But I mean, my team has got the job done. It's not my fault. My team's got the job done. But no, I'm definitely very lucky. And then Matthew's clear, like minus 47%. So you're crazy unlucky. That's what that means, I'm guessing. Oh, yeah. Definitely unlucky. So here's where the optimal score, I guess I don't understand how that is calculated. On page 6 of the rankings. So my optimal score was 102. Does that mean, like, if I had made the absolute right picks, like, if I had played the right combination of players, like I had played, I don't know, Cortland Sutton at wide receiver instead... Like, I played Zach Moss in my running back position. Chris Carson dropped to the bench, and I played, like, I played Javonte Williams, and then I also played Nelson Aguilar instead of CeeDee Lamb. Is that how that's, like, calculated? Like, it does, like, an algorithm to figure out what the best lineup I could have had was? That's my question. I'm not sure. Bad boy rankings. Hell yeah, Aaron Jones. Keeping me at number 1. That's like 3 weeks straight that I've been number 1 in the bad boy rankings. And then I've been high on the beef rankings. This one's funny too, the beef rankings. So my team's been pretty beefy, which I like. Weekly top scorers: Matthew, Zach, Luke, Zach. Highly coaching efficiency: Matt Roscoe. Luke, then Zach. All right, Zach, flex on all of us. So yeah, again, like, really cool, great report. So much fun to, like, look over, and the like stats for, you know, each team are so fun with the color, and getting to see, like, who on your team is, like, performing for you. Because absolutely, my quarterbacks and running backs are my 2 biggest scorers. But I fully much anticipate my running back thing to close up. Because I'm not a big fan of my running back. Excuse me. My running back core, as I was at the beginning of the season. So awesome. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Matthew. And we will have to drop a donation in there for sure. Got to remind myself to do that. Okay, now on to trophies. Dang it, just closed out of Google Drive. Stupid. You bring a ruler, stupid. Alright, well, give me a second. Gotta go get to the power rankings, because I do not have the trophies memorized in my head. I guess I could just go to the league homepage, because I also did that week 1. I did week 1 trophies. I put them out there. Message board. Help me out. Week 1 trophies. All right. East Lansing Applebee's Run. So if you don't know, this is honoring our East Lansing Applebee's Run. All the boys went to East Lansing this past winter, I think. And we partied down, and then we went to Applebee's the next morning, and it was an adventure. It was an adventure. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I thought it was hilarious. Like, it was so funny. Like, not even counting Zach's slip up. Like, just in general, like, we were having fun, and I thought it was a great time. But obviously, Zach's slip up, like, made the whole thing. You know, but it was also just like a shit house from start to finish. You know, with Matt's macaroni and cheese taking the entire meal to, like, everyone was done eating, and he finally got his mac and cheese. Aaron's, like, not cooked buffalo wings. Like, how gross was that? And then obviously Zach saying Applebee's artichoke dick instead of artichoke dip. So for a good time, for scoring the highest points this week. Pretty sure we already talked about that, but let me just figure it out. That goes to Zach. Yeah, that goes to Zach. No question about it. Zach gets that accolade. He gets the East Lansing Applebee's Run Trophy. Congratulations, well done. Oh my gosh, sorry. That's for scoring the least points this week. And I guess the reason it's I don't know why it's least points. Well, I guess maybe like it was like a funny time. It was a fun time, but I guess because it was a shit house from beginning to end, maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe because it was a show. That's why it's for scoring the least points, because it was kind of dumb. And then like Applebee's, like the food there is horrible. I'm sorry, I have to trash Applebee's for a second, but the food there is horrible. Anyways, let's just move on. Zach doesn't get the Applebee's thing. Zach is Wendy's guy. Congratulations, Zach. You are Wendy's guy. Even though you hate Wendy, you are Wendy's guy this week. And then Morning Chubb gets the East Lansing Applebee's Run. Naps McGee for being the most slept on. Naps McGee is a tradition that we have in our friend group, where in our league, where if we're on a trip and you're taking too many naps, or you go to bed too early, wake up too late, you get designated the Naps McGee. But in fantasy, it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a not that bad of a trophy to get. You kind of want to be Naps McGee in fantasy. And so this week, we're giving it to the champion of the Naps McGees, Matt Roskowitz. He gets the Naps McGee because we totally slept on him. I slept on him. I counted Sigma JL Grandset to win it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I did say, oh, look out, Matt loves a battle of the Mats. But I still slept on him. Like, no one actually took him seriously to beat Matthew, and then here we are. Matt is 2-2, and Matthew is 1-3. So well done, Matt. Naps McGee, congratulations. All right, next up, moving to Kansas City. So it's not Chicago, it's not San Francisco, it's Kansas City. So at least it's somewhere. It's not Seattle. It's somewhere. It's somewhere new. So at least it's somewhere, but it's not a fancy old city. So that is for you didn't do bad per se, but it just could have been better. And we gotta give that one. This one's like a tough one to give because like it can go to a losing team, but it also kind of more is like to a winning team because like you didn't do bad. I guess it's mainly for like you won, but you kind of got away with it. That's kind of, I think, like, and it's mainly like for like if both teams scored in the 80s. So it's kind of tough to give one out like on days like this. Because like week one, the first person to win it was footchiken, need a woman in his life. So week one, Luke got that accolade because he beat Aaron. Like he kind of squeezed it out. He only beat Aaron. They were both in the 70s. You know, like just barely edged him out. So I guess who we'll give it to is I guess me, because I just kind of squeezed it out. Even though we both scored in the 90s, me and Luke, and I'm pretty happy. Like I wouldn't say 94 is a bad score. I guess that's exactly what it is. You don't do bad per se. It just could have been better. So I could have been better. So I'll give it to me. Applebee's Artichoke Decks sneaking out the win. Could have been a little bit better, but I'll take it. Boy Farm Memorial Trophy, you tried, but it was all in vain. The fellowship failed. I've got two good options here. Herbie Fully Loaded and Sigma JL Grindset. The reason I kind of like giving it to, I'm thinking I'm going to give it to Herbie Fully Loaded is because it is kind of like, all right, you've got you tried, like the comeback was on, you definitely could have won, but it was all in vain. It didn't end up working. The fellowship failed. Your comeback was worth naught because you ended up losing. And so I'm going to give it to Herbie Fully Loaded because Justin Herbert was 3 points away from completing that comeback. Really 4 points away because 3 points would have put him at 94.58. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to this season that we really haven't seen is like a 0.1 or like a 0.2 or even like a 0.5 point difference loss. So the closest matchup we've had so far or like the closest loss I think has got to be footchiken the women's life, and Uncle Ron is retarded that first week, 79-78. I think that's really got to be one of the closest score lines that we've seen. Yeah, Beham Sticky Rat Jews and I Chase Young Kids also week 3, 74.94 to 73.12. That one was also close. But what am I going with? Just that's something that I hope happens this year, because it's like the funny part about playing with decimal points is once you introduce decimal points, someone's gonna get a heartbreaking like point. They lose by 0.1. So yeah, Herbie Fully Loaded. Even though you probably don't want it, you get the Boy Farm Memorial Trophy. That trophy is the name of this book club that we started. And we tried. We really did try. We tried. We gave it like 3, maybe 4 books. And we had 4, maybe 5 members. But I think it was me, Matthew. Yeah, 5 members. Me, Matthew, Matt, Zach, and Connor. And we did try. Connor, he tried. And he dropped out week 1. Zach tried a couple weeks. But I think wasn't able to do one of the weeks, and me, Matthew, and Matt, we gave it our best effort, but it was all in vain. We just couldn't we couldn't go on. It was too big of a struggle. So, congratulations, Luke. You get the Boy Farm Memorial Trophy. The Dow's last call, more consistent. Everyone wants to see it. It's got to go to Cut My Nuts. I mean, he's just incredibly inconsistent at this point. With no offense, obviously, but just so far, I mean, he's been up and down and up and down. Very, very, very inconsistent right now. Check out the points plot on this thing, and you try to. It's definitely crowded. But I mean, we can go to the points plots for each team on my thing. You can see Cut My Nuts is probably the most like up down of everyone. Chase Young Kids is kind of up down, but his first up is like in the hundreds. Everyone else kind of has like a curve or like an arc or a downward slope or an upward slope. So Cut My Nuts, congratulations, you are the Dow's Last Call Trophy winner for the week. Sprite and Banana Challenge, losing by the largest margin this week. This usually takes some mental math from me, but it's very simple this week. Almost 100 points, 80 some odd points, 85 points separated I Chase Young Kids and Morning Chub. That's got to be one of our largest point differentials ever, I think. So someone stat check me on that. I'd like to know. Morning Chub, you are getting that one. So you are not only the East Lansing Apple Reeves 1 trophy winner this week, you are the Sprite and Banana Challenge winner as well. Last but not least, Connor's Canopy for a hard-fought win. Gotta give it to... Oh, man, I don't want to give it to myself, so I'm going to give it to New South Charlietown. Hard-fought. He took all the haters. He silenced them. He fought hard. He got tons of points. He took out one of the... although not record showing, but just power rankings wise, one of the toughest teams to beat in this league. Sigmund Jail Grind said, won the Battle of the Mats, hard fought win. Congratulations, Matt. You are now not only the Naps McGee, but you are also the Connors Canopy this week. Well done. So there are the trophies worth this week. Congratulations. I don't anticipate I'm going to be able to do another episode, so I'm just going to do my picks for next week right now. Alright, let's get into the next week picks. So the matchups we have are Beham Stinky Rat Jews against me, Sigma Jail Grindset against Uncle Ron is Retarded, I Chase Young Kids against Dan White's Kneecaps, New South Charlietown versus Herbie Fully Loaded, Morning Chub versus Cut My Nuts. So no big blockbusters. Well, one blockbuster, and we'll get into that. But I'm going to start with me against Aiden. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like it's like a maybe not metaphorical, but again, another power rankings rise, like what power rankings wise, easy week for me, because I've had to go out and play. Well, okay, Matt, I wouldn't count him easy week 1. I mean, I got smashed. Aaron week 2, hindsight, was an easy week just because Aaron's having a bad season, not because he's a bad manager or anything. He's just having a bad season. His team's not performing up to snuff. But week 3 and week 4, it's been stressful. I've been pulling my hair out because I've had to, beat Matthew and Luke. That's not it's very hard. That's not easy to do. So, no offense to Aiden, and I definitely respect him and his team, but he's a different component. He's a different opponent, not as big of a legacy. He does have some legacy in this league, but not as big as maybe. So he's not like a blue blood. Like, I'm not coming up against a blue blood, and that's maybe why I consider it a quote unquote easier week. But I should definitely put some respect on his name with what he's been able to do in his history in this league and what he's been able to do this season. Coming back after 2 years out of league, been able to bring it on 2-2. I mean, he's staying in the races for playoffs. Like, he's right in there with everyone else for that playoff race. Except, I don't know why he's projected 86 points. That seems incredibly low. And I originally thought it was because of maybe he still had CMC in, but he clearly didn't have CMC in because he didn't have CMC in this week. So maybe ESPN's putting some disrespect on Trace Sermon or something. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, but there's a stupid Under Armour ad being played right in front of me. Okay, so it's not going to give me the projections. Lovely. Maybe it's because Amari Cooper is questionable? Christian McCaffrey is questionable. I'm surprised he's not out. You should just have the out designation. Because I don't think he's going to come back from one game. But I'm projected 24 more points than Aiden right now, which is bonkers. I really did not think I was that heavy of a favorite. But we'll see. Aiden's probably going to make some changes. We'll see what happens after that. I'm going to make some changes too, but, I'm hoping that those will put my projection up. Aiden's got a lot of ground to cover with his projection. So I'll be interested to see where we end at the week. Sigma JL Grandset, Uncle Ron is retarded. Both 2 1-3 teams. Matthew's definitely down on his luck harder than Aaron, but Aaron is definitely down on his luck too, just in a different sense. Matthew's had bad matchups. Meanwhile, Aaron's, they're just had unlucky, performances from some of his players. Just picked something out from my couch. That's kind of gross. So I will kind of leave it at that. Matthew Strickland had 108.7. Aaron's 95.1. It would be, don't want to say funny, but it would be like ironic in a sense. It would be ironic. Not ironic, that's not the word either. But I don't want to say funny, but it's the only word I could think of. So for lack of a better word, it would be funny if Matthew lost again. Went 1-4. Like, this is the week that Aaron's team, just blows up. Like, Dak Prescott gets 30, Saquon gets 30, Najee gets like 15 or 20 again, and then like finally Keenan Allen puts up a good stat line. And just like it totally changes for Aaron, like this week. Like, it would just be like, of course, Matthew would just be rolling his eyes like, of course this is happening to me when I have one of my best teams ever and I'm having this 1-4 start. Move on to this is the blockbuster. I chase some creds for his Dan bites kneecaps. It is the matchup that is the second blockbuster, I think. We've had a couple blockbusters already with Luke versus Matthew and Zach versus Matthew. But it is the official blockbuster of the mid season. Are we in mid season? I feel like we technically are. Like, we're week 5. We're definitely I would say we're in the middle of it. Beginning, week 1 through 4 is like the beginning of the season. End of seasons, I'd qualify like week 12 through 13. But week 5 through 11, that's definitely in the middle of the season. So we're in the crunch time. We're in the grind time. And this is a blockbuster that we are looking forward to seeing. It is a interdivisional matchup, massive implications for playoffs, maybe, very much so. Actually, I don't know why I'd say maybe, but massive implications. 2 3-1 teams, both playing at their highest level, coming out against each other. I'm really excited. To see what happens. Oh, I got to click box score, not view matchup. Got to click box score. So ESPN's picking Zach. They're giving advantage to Kyler Murray over Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry over Ezekiel Elliott. They're giving the advantage back to Eckler and to Mike Evans, then back to Terry McLaurin. George Kittle, they're giving advantage to, which I think is not going to be true. I think Hawk is going to have advantage over Kittle. Josh Jacobs, I think Deontay Johnson's going to have advantage over Josh Jacobs. Rams defense against Seattle. Buccaneers defense definitely has advantage. Justin Tucker over Nick Folk, I'll take that advantage too. So it's a blockbuster. I mean, Lamar versus Kyler, Derrick Henry versus Zeke, Cordarrelle, a newcomer against Austin Eckler, who's booming this year. DeAndre Hopkins versus Mike Evans. Boom, boom, boom. Emmanuel Sanders, guy that gets a lot of receptions versus Terry McLaurin, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Hawk versus Kittle. Two Iowa tight ends. Kittle kind of on the down. Hawk on the rise up. Then Deontay Johnson against Josh Jacobs, one of the worst running backs in the league, against a wide receiver with one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Rams defense versus Buccaneers defense. Justin Tucker versus Nick Folk. Just boom, boom, boom. Lots of good stuff. I'm expecting a high-scoring game out of that one. I'll make my picks right when I come back around. Herbie Fully Loaded is apparently projected to come back with a vengeance. They're projected 109.4 points this week. Holy moly, look at this. 19.1, 12.8, 12.2, 14-0 from Devontae Adams, 15-4 from Cooper Kupp, 11-2 from Travis Kelce, 11-0 from James Conner. Incredible. Matt, you've got to make that David Montgomery stretch because you got to give yourself a chance. Because at this point, you don't stand a chance. I mean, if Matt subs in playoff P or playoff Lenny for David Montgomery, he boosts his projected total up to like 100. So at least that makes that projection a little bit better. That could be a low key favorite, like low key really good match there. We'll see. Then Morning Chubb to take on Cup My Nuts. Oh boy. Well, okay, Tristan doesn't have anyone in his flux right now, so I was like, oh man, because they had him projected 81.6 points, and I was just like, oh, Tristan's not going to be happy to see that at all. But it's something that he's done. Alex has a really impressive projected stat line too. 18-7, 19-4, 11-9, 10-5, 11-2. So that could be another one. All right, let's go make my picks real quick. Me versus Stinky Rat Juice. I am going to take... I've literally not taken myself every time, but I'm going to have some confidence in myself. I'm going to give myself the win. I think it's time to move on from luck and turn it into confidence, turn it into deserving victory. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna win this one. I'm gonna win it deservedly. I'm gonna have some confidence in myself. Next up, Sigma Jail Grandson versus Uncle Ron is retarded. I think Sigma Jail will finally get back on track. I think he will get that win over Uncle Ron is retarded, and I think the struggles will continue for Uncle Ron. I think he will drop to 1-4, and it's going to be a bummer. I don't want to see it, but I think that's what's going to happen. Someone in that group is going to have to drop to 1-4, which is going to be the saddest part about it. Is there's a loser, there's a winner, and then there's like a mega loser. So that stinks. That always stinks. Dan Bites Kneecaps versus I Chase Young Kids. Sorry, Dan Bites, but I just don't see anyone stopping I Chase Young Kids. He's going to roll. He's going to take that victory. Herbie Fully Loaded, New South Charlie Town. New South Charlie Town. He shows us what he's got. But we also see that he doesn't have what it's got many weeks. So I think it's going to be Herbie Fully Loaded. I think there's kind of no question about it. We'll see, but Herbie Fully Loaded taking the dub. Morning Chubb versus Cut My Nuts. Cut My Nuts, you're winning this one. Don't you fret. You're winning this one. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. I don't know if I hit 55 minutes. I'm just going to, pray that I did. Might have gone over, might be under. I think it's more likely that I'm going to be under. I'm still figuring out because I just moved to Kansas City, so I'm still figuring out how I'm going to, get the schedule recorded. And if I'm going to do 1 week or two or one or two podcasts in a week, I do love creating content. So I may very well switch to two, but that is dependent on how much time I have. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you when you're older. Don't go changing. Love you guys. Bye.